Alright guys, so right now what we're going to be doing is putting the body together. So, in order to do this, I have moved my leg, my body, and my hand all together. Alright, I'm going to select all of them in object mode, and I'm gonna make sure that they are all unshaded because I want to see those edge loops. Alright, now coming in here, what we want to do is have them more or less lined up for where they need to be. And we are going to see what we can do about connecting the leg first. So what we need to do is make sure that we have the same amount of edge. So we have 2 extra here. All right. So coming in here, we can go ahead and do some simple thinking about like where they would best go. So this one is going to go to this one. Okay. So as I do this, that's not a big deal. So first of all, I'm going to go into edit mode on this guy. And I'm going to delete these. Okay. So those 2 are going to go together nicely. All right. This one. So I want an extra edge loop probably in here and over here in order to get that to work the way I want. Okay. So coming in on this guy, I'm going to go grab my 2 ways to do this, right? I could draw it in, or I can take an edge loop right here. So if I go grab this edge loop, or perhaps this edge loop, now, because this edge loop is going all the way around, it's going to be very convenient because when I split it or I slide it, it's going to have an extra one there. So we are going to hit the slide and we're going to click once and we're going to do 1 copy and then we're going to offset it and we're going to offset it to the negative side. Okay, so that it has and let's just tumble around, make sure that it did it on both sides. Excellent, yep. So there you have it. There is an extra edge loop in there, which is going to allow us to connect. Great. So coming in here, back into object mode, I want to move this into line, more or less. Okay. Better to have a little gap in there. We're going to select both by shift clicking the objects, or over here, we're going to go and Boolean union to make them one thing. Okay. And then we are going to go into edit mode. We're going to bake it. And we are going to come in here. We're going to move these as close to their counterparts as possible with the body. We're going to select both of these, shift, and we're going to hit collapse so that they become 1 point. So this guy has to come out. And then I'm going to come over here and hit collapse, or X, right? X is going to be your hotkey for this. Very nice. Getting it mighty close, and again, you can always hit M for marquee. Select them both, and X to collapse. And I'll do the rest, and you'll see in just a second. Okay, here it is, merged all the way around, collapsed all the way around, and there you can see the leg is completely attached and based on the hip that we've already hip socket that we already pre-made. All right, so not bad. All right, same technique for the hand. All right, we are going to go into object mode. I have already made sure that my hand is the same amount of subdivisions as my wrist. All right, I will come into side mode. You can see that my hand needs to come out a little bit further, and that's a good thing, all right, because it's always better to have a little bit more of a gap in between. It's easier to see than if you don't, and I'm going to line that up as best as possible. And we need to shift click to get both of these. We're going to go into generate and Boolean union to make it one object. All right, into edit mode, bake it. And we are going to select this edge. Oh, do I have a face in there? I think I might have just capped that for the time being. Okay, so we should have the same amount of edges. So we're gonna select 2, and we're gonna hit X to collapse it. All right, so there you have connecting the arm, the hand to the arm. Now we are going to flip this and attach the body. All right, so we've got this object. We're going to go into object mode. We're going to go into generate, and we are going to do a symmetry. Okay, over here, we're going to symmetry Y. Excellent. So you can see that my model is slightly tilted. All right, so my object was tilted. So I went in and selected under the symmetry, the object 1, and I am going through and sort of editing where they are. So I'm editing the rotation so that they're more upright, and then I'm pushing them back together. Okay, remember, I prefer to leave a little bit of a gap in order to connect these later, all right? So I find that to be the best way to do it, all right? So I'm gonna leave just a smidgen of gap. I'm gonna convert it to geometry, okay? I'm gonna select both of these. In the object, I am going to go and Boolean union so that they're the same. Okay. And just like before, we could bridge across, or we can do go into edit mode. Oh, we're gonna make it. And we can also do what I think is the best way, which is to do the combine to the collapse. So I'm gonna hit 1 to get my selection of these guys. All right, so 1M to get the marquee and collapse them. That was X. So M and X. M and X. M and X. M and X. And there you can see I'm zipping her up. And I will go through around and get the entire thing zipped up. After this, we're just going to have to add the head on. I'll see you in a bit. All right, so we're back, and now we're connecting the head. I have deleted the faces that intersect with where I want them to connect. So here and here, the base, right? I am going to make sure that there are the same. So there's 10 subdivisions up here with more subdivisions in the front and the back. And I have 8 here. So what I'm going to do, I selected the center line here. And I am going to then slide, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to do, we are going to do 1 copy, 2, 3, 6. So that's going to be 10. Yeah. There we have it. And then we are going to slide them along. Okay, so we've got that. Is the number of subdivisions correct? I can, of course, go in and sort of, I've rounded out where the head is. I have not really rounded out where the neck comes forward. So I might go in and do that. Okay, so we are then going to bridge these. So let's go into side mode. Let's go into object mode. We're going to move the head into place. All right. We are going to select both objects. We're going to go to generate, and we are going to Boolean union. All right. And we can do this 2 ways. We can bridge. Let's make it. All right. We can bridge. All right. Or we can extrude up the neck and then collapse the vertices together. We'll see which one works best. So I'm going to select this edge loop and this edge loop. Okay. All right, so we are going to bridge. We're going to break it into, let's say, 3 segments in order. All right. And we can play with these as well. All right. We can try the strength. So I can like taper out, which looks like very weird, or strength. So that can just like bring it in just a little bit. But yeah, so there we have it. There's our neck. We will definitely go in and make adjustments to make it a little bit better, because it should come forward a little bit at the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select vertexes. All right, 1 and these 2. And I'm just going to push those forward. Oops, didn't get one. To give a significantly more tapered out front of the neck. I think the first 2 and I would come out as well. All right, and so on and so forth. So you can make adjustments in order. All right, but that is our body, our test demo. For the hair, you can extrude out. If you're in Maya or Blender, you could do, you could generate hair. But this is a basic T-form body. What you're going to do is you are going to export this as an object and give it to me, and I'd also like you to do a render of it to show me the thing that you have finished it, and turn that in. All right, nice job. Oh, finally, last thing. So this is the basic. Now, if I go into object mode, a couple things that we can do. We can come in here. If we hit J, in edit mode, we have different levels of subdivision. So this is the basic like low poly model, right? But I also have ways to subdivide. So I can subdivide interpret and subdivide approximate have been my favorites. So if I do subdivide approximate, it's going to give us this. Very nice. Again, you can add extra edge loops to add more definition in areas, right? If that you want. You can go back in and edit now. So like, for instance, I have that weird peak, so I would go back in and edit. So there's that. Or we can select all, J, and you can also say subdivide approximate. All right, you can see which one you like better based on your model. I think that for mine, and you don't want to do that where you're clicking multiple times, because you're seeing I'm subdividing each time, and that has tons of geometry. So if you want to smooth out your model, you can do that. All right, that is all.